Is Rex beating us down the stairs today? Hard to beat the cat. He cheats. He goes over to furniture. But Rex made it to the door first. Gotta leash you up. It is a chore. It is a process getting them all lined up, but they're so good. T-Rex, you're so good. You go out the door first. All right, Steve, your turn. It's 53 degrees out. One of the cooler mornings we've had here in Weymouth so far this season. 7:15 on October 3rd. It's a Thursday, and it feels like fall out here this morning. It's kind of weird what's going on now in the weather department. I can almost see my breath. I can hear a Carolina wren. You cannot hear the Carolina wren because I'm wearing, can you? Because I'm wearing my noise-canceling Lark lavalier microphone, which has been kind of overmodulating audio work. Always a work in progress, but so pretty this morning, isn't it? Wow. You wouldn't think that there's a front over New England right now. Usually when a cold front comes into New England, the air comes in from the south and southwest, and you have a breezy day, the front goes by, and then you get the wind coming in from the northwest, and usually you don't have radiational cooling on a night like that, but it's an unusual front. It's been running out of gas, it's stuck into New England, and it's not really moving, so this morning it's kind of a quirky temperature map. Let's see, 44 in Bedford, while it's 54 in Boston, and the mid-40s around Buzzards Bay. And I think this is the coldest morning so far for parts of eastern Massachusetts. On the east side of a cold front, it's supposed to be warmer. It's supposed to get colder after the front goes by. But we've been talking about it forever, this Greenland block. And boy, is it on display today. The surface map over Greenland shows a 1047 high-pressure system. That's a big dome of heavy air, and with the sun getting lower in the sky, it's a long night in Greenland, and that's cold, heavy air, and that's been draining down all the way to eastern Massachusetts over the last several days. But it's going to release a little bit here, and that means more of an offshore flow, and with the front decaying, it's really nice weather. Now, because I got up before the sun, and I got these images before the sun, you can't really make out in the satellite picture the clouds that are over New England. You can see them here on my camera, but if I go to the satellite imagery, New England's not illuminated, but what you do see is the remnant of Helene way out there, just north of Bermuda, and with a high to the north and that low to the south that has been generating an onshore flow for day after day after day, and that means surf is up. The buoy report this morning at 6 a.m., 4 foot 11 seconds at Stellwagen Bank. And that is just a perfect little wave with a light offshore breeze. And here's the image also, very early in the day. You can see underneath the cloud at Hampton Beach, there's one lone person waiting for a breaker to come in. So surf weather today. And that cloud over Hampton is sort of the remnant of the front. We can see it right in here. And that will probably fall apart, but the fact that there is a front over us, there will be instability cumulus. A week ago, we thought that front was going to come through yesterday and kind of hook up with Helene. That's how things change. Heavy dew in the grass this morning. I know a lot of people are reporting that the grass is burnt out, but we had enough rain. This is not watered grass. This is nature's watered grass. I mean, it did burn out in spots, and like we talked about yesterday, there's a mushroom. And there's really very little rain in the forecast. The forecast for next week has been getting better and better. There is a good shot of the stern. I wish I could pronounce the name of your boat. Leif and Peia. And I think it means tree of life in Viking language. What's Viking? Is that Nordic? Sorry, exposing my weaknesses here. I guess you should expose your weaknesses. Where's that spider? Hello, spider. It's in there. There's another one over here, too, by the way. And T-Rex. And there's the lynx. So we have a lot to talk about in more. In the weather department, we're fairly quiet. Good morning, Troy and crew, Captain Sean. We'll meet Troy in a few minutes. Now, along with a man that was there the day the lynx was launched in Rockport, Maine in July of 2001. just happened to be there that day, and he just happened to be walking by when I was making a sunset video yesterday. So stay tuned for in more, but now let's go to the weather. And I think we should start on the other side of the world. There's always worse weather somewhere, and it's really enigmatic what's going on with that typhoon. It weakened to a Category 1 as it came ashore. However, it had the ferocity, in Josh Morgan's words, of Helene and then some. So he said that he was less battered by wind in Perry, Florida, with Helene last week than he was last night, which was in the daytime. In Taiwan, he says the wind, there must have been some embedded vortices near the eye of the storm because the trees were coming down all over the place. Now with Helene, you didn't see a lot of trees coming down. It was the flooding and the storm surge that was the big news. But in Taiwan, people just keep going about their business. So I'm getting several videos from not only Josh Morgan, but also from James Reynolds, and there's another account over there called Tourists in Taiwan, I believe, getting the man with the umbrella. Who fights a typhoon with an umbrella? It's almost like comedy in a way, but it's serious at the same time. So that's the other side of the world. That storm weekend, it was erratic and it took days to come ashore. And what's going on in the Atlantic Ocean is also somewhat erratic. With the forecasts changing every day. I guess it's the forecasts that are changing. And we have a hurricane out there that's gone to Category 3. Its name is Kirk. It's a major hurricane. We talked about it yesterday. I forecast to deepen by the euro to 925. Well, today the euro only deepens that to about a 935, but still that's a major hurricane. And on its heels is Tropical Storm Leslie, also expected to become a hurricane. Kirk is forecast to recurve in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it is sending out a swell. It's going to merge with the remnant of Helene, which is also going to strengthen. And so here is the Ocean Prediction Center forecast for the swell on Sunday night. That's a 12 to 14 second swell, period. 14 T-Rex, please. Sorry. It's a 14-second swell, and it's going to be 1 to 2 meters, and that means surf is up on Sunday and Monday, and the weather kind of cooperating here in the Northeast for surfing. Certainly today is. Boston 5-day. Here's the temperature near 70 today with the light variable wind south-southwest, and then tomorrow, I guess another front's kind of trying to come in here. The front from today is going to fall apart. Tomorrow also looking at 70s with a front coming in from the west. Gets here on Saturday with a few showers. The Saturday front will make it through here with some perhaps gusty wind from the southwest becoming into the northwest on Saturday night and Sunday, but it looks like it's going to be a nice weekend. And then there's another front coming at us on Monday. Things are going to really start moving. So let's look at the jet stream. The wind aloft. No, wait, before I show that, I want to show the national advisories, watches, and warnings. So there's record heat and heat warnings in effect in California and Arizona and Nevada. And then to the north of that, there are frost advisories in effect in places like Idaho and Washington, and in Montana, huge area of wind watch, wind warning watch for the weekend, and also freeze warnings in effect in Montana. So you have record, or not record, but wintry type cold in southwestern Canada and record heat in the southwestern United States. So that's going to create a gradient in the atmosphere, and this is shown in the upper level wind flow at 500 millibars. You see the red in there. That's a 100-knot wind just shooting across southern Canada, dividing the cold to the north and the warmth to the south. But as long as that's a flat, fast flow, you don't get big storms. You get these fronts that come in and have been generally falling apart in New England until that jet stream starts to buckle, and it does start to buckle here in New England a little bit Sunday night and Monday. So that's when we get some action. Sunday night and Monday, a front is going to push through here, and then what looked like a closed upper level low over New England the middle of next week has evolved into a closed upper level low over southeastern Canada. So that's where the storminess is going to be, and we're going to be getting on the backside of that with some gusty wind and chilly air coming in here after that front and the little cyclogenesis on Thursday into Friday. But then that's going to lift out, and all of a sudden that ridging in the middle of the nation is going to come our way, and it looks like, if this is right, potential record warmth coming at us on Columbus Day weekend. All right, time out. This workboat went by a few days ago, and I think it's carrying a submersible. These are unmanned bluefin robotics there at the Quincy shipyard. It's now General Dynamics test these underwater surveillance systems, and they can go all the way down to the trenches of the deep Atlantic and Pacific. So it's fascinating. You see that little submarine right there? It's going to go out there, and it's probably a prototype of their next testing equipment. I love, you look at that Bluefin Robotics webpage, and it's just fascinating, the technology coming out of the Quincy shipyard. It's still alive. So there we have the future right there, looking 20 or 30 years in the future, and then we've got 1812 right there. What a perspective. What, just so blessed to have all of this. And of course, my mentor Don Kent grew up right there. Not grew up, he raised his family, and Roger Kent right here. And how's my cat and dog? T-Rex has gone up the stairs, and Steve is tangled. So we're taking a little intermission here to untangle Steve and let him go. And then we're going to talk about the surface weather maps going forward into next week and the prospects for snow. Could it snow in New England? It could snow in New England next week a little. It looks a little less dramatic in the weather maps today than it did yesterday. Let's get Steve over to his perch. Let's watch the captain push the throttle down as he gets beyond the no-wake buoy of Wessagusset. Thank you. The people at Wessagusset appreciate the no-wake. And can you read the serial number on that submersible? So again, we're looking at the future right there. Hey Winthrop, how's it going? Looks like a little bit of an inversion, a little smog on the horizon with that radiational cooling last night. Are we having fun yet? We're about 11 minutes into this thing. Can we wrap it up, please? Well, what do you want to know? About just show me the surface maps as they go forward through the weekend. All right, here it is, the Euro on the pivotal weather, and there's the next front's coming out of the Midwest, and it gets in here on Saturday, and we're all vulnerable to a shower or two on Saturday, but it's still going to be comfortable. It's still going to be about 70, and then that front is gone on Sunday. We're between. There's another front coming in out of southern Canada. They're all lined up, and that one's going to come in here on Monday with a few more showers. Probably gets a little bit gusty from the southwest, and then there's going to be cyclogenesis there. You see it slowly evolving in Maine. There's going to be a surface low-pressure system forming. It's weak compared to what we saw a few days ago. And the position of it would bring in just some scattered instability showers, and the snow level may come down to about 4,000 feet at our mountains. You may see some snow guns turning on at a few of the ski areas, you know, that first testing of the season. Blow the mice out, they call it. On Tuesday night and Wednesday, and then Thursday looks really windy from the northwest. If this is right, not all the guidance is the same. And then the wind lets up, and if we have any radiational cooling with that high pressure system, we could be challenging some record low temperatures here around Thursday or Friday. But then as quickly as that comes, it goes, and if the Euro is right, we're going to see high pressure off to the southwest, and when these highs go off to your southwest, all of a sudden the winds from the southwest and what could be very cold air turns into very warm air. We saw that happen that second week of September when that cold high came in. It turned into a record warm high, and something like that may be happening for Columbus Day weekend. So here's some great news. The planes are landing toward the west. And they don't fly over our house every 3 minutes when they come in from the east, and they take off toward the west. And that's because the air has changed. So now the pilots are flying into the wind, which is an offshore breeze for a change. Thank you very much, offshore breeze. So did you get all that? How about day 10 of the ocean map? Day 10, the storm there north of the Caribbean, that would be Hurricane Leslie. And you have high pressure off to our south with warm air coming at us. You see the 570 line near New England, and that's a warm air direction. In the summertime, with an offshore breeze, you see the 570 thickness. It can be near 90. I'm not going for anywhere near 90, but perhaps in the 70s to near 80 by Columbus Day weekend. All right, so that was a lot there. And I know I left out some other stuff. Oh yes, the gooseneck barnacle log at Tom Nevers on Nantucket. What is a gooseneck barnacle? It looks kind of like a razor clam. Have you ever seen the neck come out of a razor clam? It's a long neck, and some of the tastiest clam I've ever had was a razor clam. I found some in Scituate at the Spit a lot of years ago, and apparently the gooseneck barnacle is a delicacy, and it can fetch 100 euros per plate. So harvest the gooseneck barnacle and cook it up. I guess it's a lot of work to harvest and prepare, but thank you Nantucket Current for sharing that information on the gooseneck barnacle, and everyone else that contributes, and all the people I lift stuff from. Now let's go to the Enmore. Yesterday I was watching some docks being towed by some workboats, and then all of a sudden a tanker showed up, and so I got a couple time lapse from that, and then the evening sunset. There's a much better view at the shelf now to watch the sun go down adjacent to the tall ship Lynx, where we met some characters yesterday. And that's going to be our Enmore from yesterday, Wednesday, October 2nd. We will all see you again very soon. Midday, Wednesday, October 2nd, and I'm compelled to do some more time lapse just because so much going on. The sky is so pretty, and it's the season for the marinas and boatyards to start moving docks to their winter locations. And I see one moving by Quincy right now. Let's close in on that with Boston as a backdrop. Let's see where this one's headed. Inside and edited, and I lost track of where that dock went, but we have something coming in hot right now. Should fill the screen for us in a second. Lone Star Mariner. Should I widen out just enough so you can see the flag and the tugboat? Freedom. Need some arborists, need some tree work done here. Don't tell Rex I'm going out without him, but this predator bird circling right up there. Let's see if we can get it. There it is. Sharpshin? Coopers? I don't think the red tail flies like that. I think the red tail is bigger. What do you think, my bird people friends? Yeah, come on back. Come on back. Can you catch something for us? Plenty of little power lines. Wind from the east, 1 o'clock, Wednesday, come on, October 2nd. Hey man, look at this. Who's that? Who's that down there? You know that person? I mean, kitty cat? Beautiful day in Boston. Flag needs work. Okay, planes are still taking off towards the east, then turning south, but those hours are waning. We've got a weak cold front coming through. How's it going to get warmer after a cold front? Well, because the wind is going to come in from the west for 1 or 2 days in a row on our Thursday and Friday. And somehow here at the shelf, the view got a little better today. So how about a brief time lapse of the sun setting to the south of the tall ship Lynx? Sure, let's do it.
How are you? Hello there.
Well, it's backlit a little bit. So you never know, you're just kind of walking around town, you might meet a tall ship sailor?
Tall ship sailor. My name's Troy. I'm one of the deckhands on board the schooner Lynx and the historian aboard. We're here in Weymouth for the week, and we sailed in from Rockland, Maine, where we hauled out and did our just painted the bottom of the hull, fresh paint job right on the boat, and a lot of good work goes into the Lynx. We did part of it, and our buddy Tony did the black. Me and Mr. Whipple were up on the bowsprit painting that while we were in yard there, and we had a very good yard. Lots of hard work goes into sailing old girls like this.
Well, good to meet you, Troy, and maybe we'll see you on board.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you guys are going to get a little R&R over the next few days. Lots of fun things to do around here.
Absolutely.
So I'll turn the camera off and we can talk about that.
All right.
Okay, great to meet you.
Great to meet you,
And
too.
your buddies. And T-Rex.
T-Rex. Hey,
T-Rex.
buddy. Hey, T-Rex.
Rex.
Got that Bruins leash.
We now resume that time lapse already in progress. We'll probably even see the crew walking back out across the plank and then back into the boat. That's a wrap for today. Enjoy the warmer air behind the cold front. It's a new moon today, so actually yesterday. So the moon is actually right there next to the sun. We just cannot see it. Planes, high traffic area, landing and taking off toward the east. So the close encounters just keep coming. Nice couple just pulled in and said, "What's that boat?" And I said, "It's the tall ship Lynx." And my response was off the charts, surprising.
Yeah.
What did you say about the Lynx?
The Lynx was built by Rockport Marine in Camden, Maine. And we saw her launched in Rockport Harbor and then tied up in Camden. She is beautiful.
You were
great
there?
big boat. I was there.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Wynn Hodges. I'm from North Weymouth in East Bay.
Oh,
64.
Wynn
Broadreach.
and
Margie.
who's your better half?
Margie.
Wynn and Margie?
Yeah.
So nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you.
What's your name?
We've been together for 60 years. And so we've seen a lot of places together.
My name is Tim Kelly.
Hi,
and,
Tim.
I was born the year before you got married.
Aha, okay.
Good
Very
year.
good.
And did you grow up in North Weymouth?
No, I grew up in New York City. And we met and married in New York, and we moved up here in 1973 to Hingham. And we raised our girls in Hingham, and then moved to Avalon and Cohasset for 6 years, and then came here to the condo at Broadreach. Love it here. For anybody who likes the sea, what a great place to be, because we look over at Boston.
Was it just happenstance that you were there when the Lynx was launched in
Yes.
Maine?
Yeah.
Happenstance.
Well, happenstance in one sense, we visit Camden regularly in another. So I've seen a number of beautiful boats out of Rockport Marine because they not only build them, they maintain some of the best boats. They're two fantastic.
She just got her hull painted at Rockport
There you go.
in the last week.
All right, there you go.
Would you like to come aboard her on Friday?
When?
Friday?
Friday? I'd love to try.
Yeah.
I mean,
all we gotta do
I
is
have
walk out that plank, that walk right there, and then
No.
just up a little
I have a
gangplank.
rollator. I don't know whether I can do it or not, but I would love it.
Well,
Absolutely love
Let's
it.
see if we can make that happen.
All right, fine. I'll see you. There must be coverage in Wooden Boat and on her.
Yeah.
And I'll look up Rockport Marine. I'm sure they'll have something on it.
Very nice to meet you.
Very
Linda
nice to meet
Margie.
you. And
Love this.
Tim, do you have any? Can you give us a way to get in touch with you?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
And this is also going to be on YouTube. It's called Out the Door,
Okay.
Weather, and More.
Ah, okay, great.
Me, my cat, and my dog.
I love it. I
So
love it.
nice to meet you.
That's wonderful. Nice to meet you too. Thank you very much.